Welcome to the deep dive. Ever find yourself mid-sentence with your cat and they just give you that look? Or maybe they just turn around and walk off. It feels, well, kind of personal, doesn't it? Leaves you wonder, are they mad? Did I, offend them? So today we're doing a deep dive into this really common puzzle. When your cat seems to be giving you the silent treatment. Our mission, to figure out why cats sometimes seem to ignore us, using insights from the sources you shared. And importantly, find some ways to, bridge that communication gap.
Yeah, and what's really interesting from these sources is that it's almost never about rejection in the way humans mean it. It's much more rooted in, well, just basic cat biology and how they're wired. They're not small dogs, right? Their evolution, their solitary hunting past, it baked in this need for autonomy. The sources even point to specific brain pathways. Their independence isn't just preference, it's almost biological. That's key.
That's a really important point, the wired differently aspect.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us, maybe especially if we grew up with dogs, we tend to project. We expect dog-like responses.
Right.
So looking at the sources, what's the biggest thing we get wrong about their need for, say, attention?
Right. The sources really push back on that idea. Cats don't generally seek approval or attention in that constant relational way dogs often do. Their independence, it's not a personality flaw, it's more like a deep survival instinct. Research suggests their primary social learning is super intense with their mother early on, but it's not the same ongoing social dynamic we expect. So things like turning their back or deciding to nap somewhere else, it's often just them needing space, exercising that self-reliance, not necessarily a snub.
Okay, so it's not always disinterest. But what about those times when a usually cuddly cat suddenly becomes distant? What triggers that withdrawal, according to the sources?
Well, beyond just needing alone time, the sources highlight a few key things. One, simple mood shifts. Just like us, they might just want some quiet. They'll usually come back when they're ready. Two, and this is a big one, a sudden change could signal stress or anxiety. Cats really, really rely on predictability. Changes in the house, new furniture, someone visiting, even just a shift in your routine that can trigger a real stress response. Their whole sense of security is tied up in their territory, feeling stable.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Their environment is their whole world, basically.
Yeah.
Which brings us to something crucial the sources really hammer home, right?
Exactly. If your cat suddenly starts ignoring you, especially if it's a big change from their normal behavior, you absolutely need to think about health. Pain or feeling unwell is a super common reason for cats to withdraw and interact less. The research talks about subtle signs, maybe changes in eating, sleeping more, just general lethargy alongside avoidance. That's a strong signal for a vet visit. And then there's territory. It's not just about fighting, it's about feeling in control of their main area. Any perceived intrusion can mess with that. Boredom, too, or what the research calls environmental impoverishment. Not enough stimulation for their hunting instincts, that can definitely lead to stress and withdrawal.
Right, so much of what we read as ignoring is actually them communicating something important. But here's what I found really surprising in the sources. Sometimes we are the problem. Our human ways of showing affection like loud greetings or grabbing them for a tight hug can actually feel threatening to a cat.
Yes, that's a huge takeaway. It means we need to adjust our approach, not force them into ours. Assuming health issues are ruled out, the sources talk about structured interaction. Let the cat initiate. Use positive reinforcement, like a small treat, or quiet praise when they come to you. And interactive play is critical. Things like feather wands that mimic prey, that taps into their hunting drive, builds positive associations with you, and reduces stress. Plus, learning their body language, tail twitches, ear positions, pupil dilation, that's way more informative than just listening for a meow, according to the research. It helps us respect their boundaries.
Okay, so putting it all together, what does this mean for us and our cats? Your cat isn't being mean or giving you the silent treatment like a person would. More likely, they're signaling a need maybe for space, maybe for a calmer environment, or maybe they really need to see the vet. They don't really hold grudges, but they definitely react to stress or fear by avoiding, which is just basic survival.
Precisely. So strengthening that bond comes down to patience, really watching them, and consistently respecting that independent streak they have, understanding their often very subtle communication style, keeping routines consistent, making sure their environment is interesting. That's how you build real trust and harmony.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What other subtle signals might you be overlooking in your own life just because you're not quite speaking the right language?